Alright, cool. So today, guys, I'm actually going to be talking to you about the top 5 regrets that people have throughout their life. Just so you know, Claudia is at work again this week, so it'll just be me. But hopefully next week we'll be both back and spreading the value with you guys again next week. So I'm going to go over, as I said, the top 5 regrets. So put a 2 in the chat once you're ready and you've got a notepad and pen, everything like that. Alright, cool, let's get started, guys. So this is actually from an episode of Mornings with Nono that I watched, and he actually watched a video that studied people, and these are the answers that were given when people were asked what they regretted most in their lifetime. So the first one is that I wish I'd let myself be happier. So, you know, it's important that even though we're doing what we're doing, we need to enjoy the journey. We don't want to completely forget about living a happy life in order to get where we want. We do want to be able to, you know, make sacrifices, but let's not sacrifice our own happiness on the journey. Because remember, we're not going to be happier once we reach the goal. We can only reach the goal in the first place if we are happy within ourselves right now. And we're grateful for what we have right now, that we can actually be given more to be grateful for. So, you know, it's said quite a lot, and I think Matt Rosa said it at the last event or at Match Madness. He was like, network marketing actually sucks until it gets good. So the industry that we're in is going to be hard. It's going to be challenging, you know, and it's going to suck until it gets good. But we just have to keep pushing through that times and stay happy while we are pushing through these times. Like, do something at least once a day, you know, self-care every single day. Do something that makes you happy. You know, this is something that you could actually use your morning routine for. So put a 3 in the chat if you actually have a morning routine, and then put a 4 if you actually stick to your morning routine, and put a 0 if you don't do either. Okay, cool. So yeah, when you do your morning routine, it's gonna act as like this kind of shield, and it's gonna protect you throughout the whole day. Because when you start the day and you're putting yourself in the happy state, you're putting yourself in the state of gratitude, you know, you're putting yourself in that high vibration so that you can maintain it throughout the day. It's going to protect you from everything that life throws at you, you know. Throughout, have you ever had that time where you felt good about something and then you just let an outside circumstance, for example, like maybe family and friends being negative, or a situation that happened to you, and you were in this state of high vibration, but as soon as you heard it, you just got brought back down into this low vibration. You know, that's something else we have to be working on, is also maintaining the high vibration throughout the whole day. But yeah, wishing that you can let yourself be happier, that was the first point. Because, you know, if you're not happy right now, where you are at the moment, how can you expect to be blessed with more? How can you be given more if you're not even appreciative of where you are at the current moment? So that's why no matter what your situation is right now, no matter what you're going through, appreciate what you're going through so that you can learn the lessons that it's providing you, so that you can then just grow from it and get to that whole other level that is waiting for you after you are actually appreciative of where you are right now. You know, it doesn't matter what's happened in the past either, because the present moment is actually the gift that we're given. You know, nothing matters in the past, nothing matters in the future. What matters is what we are doing now. And are we happy right now? Are we excited about life right now? Are we grateful that we are blessed with this opportunity right now? You know? And we need to also remember, everything we're going through is part of a journey, and everyone is on their own different journey. You know, even through this journey, there's going to be ups and downs, you know. There's going to be good days, there's going to be bad days. But let's just maintain the attitude of happiness and being grateful throughout the whole journey. And also, another way that you can like maintain your happiness is by acknowledging how things are actually going for you and what you've already accomplished so far. for example, like this time last year, me personally, I can't even remember if it's last year that I left school. But I had just left school and I was working pretty much full time. Actually, I wasn't working because we were in lockdown. But you know, from there until now, so many things have happened for me. You know, I've developed my mindset a lot more and I've learned how to trade. You know, we are grateful for this platform, guys. Don't knock the little achievements. Be grateful for the little achievements because all of the little achievements together are ultimately going to mount up to be stepping stones to where you want to eventually get to, right? You know, let yourself be happy that you're in this situation. Let yourself be happy about where you come from. All right. So put a 1 in the chat if you think happiness is a choice. And put a 2 if you think it's not a choice. All right. Okay, cool. So I'm glad to see everyone thinks it's actually a choice. In regards to this, remember that whenever you're having negative thoughts, whenever you're letting things get to you, you have the opportunity to change that into something positive. You have the opportunity to learn from it and say, no, I'm not going to make myself unhappy. I'm not going to attract more negative thoughts. I'm actually going to flip it and turn it into a positive thought so that I can get back on track with what I want to do and attract more positive thoughts so that I can actually become happier and increase my mood. Okay? So that was the first regret that people have in their lives, is that they wish they'd been happier. So the second one actually kind of applies a lot to us in this industry. And it's, I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. So with friends, right, who might not necessarily be in this business and they might not necessarily support us, but it's up to you whether you stay in touch with them or not. If they really are holding you back that much, then, you know, it's probably best for you to, like, you know, cut them off, all of that stuff. But it's not always best to cut people off just because they're not in your business. Like, what are you doing? There's still people who've been with you through all of the stuff that you might have been through before you were part of this business, you know? So it's still important to stay in touch with them because they can still provide their own value to your life, even if they're not in the business. Like even Bryce Thompson, he has friends who aren't in the business to this day, and he's a chairman 750. Can you imagine going all the way to chairman 750 and still having friends that are actually not in this business? You know, like these are your friends who are like, they were with you when you were broke, they were with you when you had nothing. You know, they've been the people who've done stuff for you when you didn't have anything. Like it's not up to you to try and get them to understand, but just don't give up on them. Do you know what I mean? You know, regardless of whether or not they're in the business, they're always going to be your friends. And think of it in this way, like when you make it, they're also going to make it too. Because by you, you know, wiping out generational curses, you can also bring them up with you. You can also help them out. And then maybe through that, they will start to understand what it is we're actually doing here. Yeah, Nikita knows what I'm talking about. But yeah, they are going to remember the days before you got big. And it's important for you to remember where you came from as well. And then through that, you can also relate to them. Like maybe some people are like, you know, oh, I want to see how you do first, blah, 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 all that stuff. And that's kind of, maybe instead of seeing that as like, oh no, that's just another one of them, you can see that as an opportunity to actually work for yourself. Like be selfish first so that you can be selfless and help them later. So maybe see it that way. Maybe like distance yourself for a bit and then go back to them and say, this is working for me and I can help you do it too. You know, are you willing to do this with me? That kind of thing. But yeah, it's not your job to get others to believe in you. You know, your job is to believe in yourself, to know that you can do this and to know that it is going to happen for you. as long as you believe it will happen to you. You know, some of the things that I went through the other week, I'll just recap them quickly. If you don't believe that you can achieve the goal that you're saying you want, then how are you supposed to achieve it? Because if you don't believe in what you're working for, you're not gonna feel the right emotions. You're gonna feel like, what sort of emotion would it be? Like, you're gonna feel unmotivated because you don't actually believe it's gonna happen. So therefore, you're not gonna put in the actual effort that is required to get you to where you want to be. So when you don't believe in it yourself, no matter what anyone else is saying, if you don't believe in yourself to get you to a position that you want to be, then that is going to be your ultimate downfall. Because as long as you believe that you can get to a place, it doesn't matter what people say to you. It doesn't matter if someone says you're not going to get there, because you look at them like, what do you mean? Of course I'm going to get there. Like, it's already done. You know, you have to have this, Christopher Terry calls it, you have to have this savage mindset, you know. But honestly, you really do have to believe in yourself. Don't worry if no one else believes in you. As long as you believe in yourself, then you've got this. Because once you start believing in yourself, guys, it's so important. That's why I'm repeating it so much. Once you start believing in yourself, you can literally do anything that you want to do. Okay? And plus, once you make it, everyone's going to start believing in you anyway. You know, there's always going to be that person who's like pulling you down when you start a new thing. And then they're always like, oh, I knew you'd make it at the end. You know, there's always going to be those people as well. So just got to make it for yourself. So the next point, or the next regret that a lot of people deal with in life is, I wish I had the courage to express my feelings. So this can apply to the business, but with like building relationships with people and stuff, and you know, having that mentee and mentor relationship as well. But it also applies to life in general, right? You have to let people know how you feel about them, you know, how much you're grateful for them. Now, a lot of people actually don't have this courage to be able to do these things. I'll admit that I personally do not have much courage in this area, but you know, it's something to work on, it's something to improve on, it's an opportunity to grow. You know, people, through life, through problems that you might go through, maybe like especially family troubles, you know, people need to know how you're feeling. And with yourself as well, you can't heal what you're hiding from yourself, and you can't fix what you decide not to confront. So if there's a problem and you just kind of ignore it, it's just gonna stay there and it might grow. But it gets bigger and then you still ignore it a little bit more until eventually it's such a big problem that it's becoming, it's like taking over your life. Imagine it as like, let's say like a snowball. So let's say that this one snowball is a thought, maybe. Or like just something that's happening in your life. And then you have like other things in your life, other tiny snowballs of your thoughts, right? Now these ones are all very small, but this one is building up and it's building up and it's building up. And now eventually it's going to take over some of the other ones. It's going to take over some of the other thoughts that's going on in your life. It's going to take over some of the other things going on in your life. And this is when it becomes a major problem. And this is when it's going to start being, you know, more dominant in your thoughts. It's going to be, you know, you're going to have to confront it eventually. Otherwise, it's just going to tear you down. It's going to take over your whole life. And then, you know, what's going to happen then? So don't be scared to express yourself or be scared about what other people might think. Because once the snowball gets so big, it's going to start getting out of your control. It's going to start affecting your mental health. It's going to start affecting all the other things in your life, you know. So take that chance, take the opportunity to be, to have the courage to confront it before it starts getting so big that it's going to take over your life. It's going to overwhelm you. Do you get what I'm saying? So yeah. And also when you take the initiative to be courageous, to actually share how you're feeling, it's going to give other people courage too. It's going to empower them to be vulnerable with you too, you know? And when you're vulnerable, especially with like, and when you're vulnerable with maybe like your mentor or even a mentee sharing an experience, someone else is going to need to see you being vulnerable to become inspired. So when you're, let's say, let's say you're sharing a personal story that happened to you that maybe helped you get to the next level, but you don't like sharing it with people because it's like it means a lot to you, and it's something that is very, very personal, but you might have to share it to help someone else get to the next level, right? By you sharing that story with them, by being vulnerable with them, it not only will bring you two closer, but it will also inspire that person to, you know, change something they're doing. And it could even save someone's life. I went a bit deep there, but yeah. So expression actually has the ability to change someone's life. And actually, you know, one of the things that can change someone's paradigm is either repetition or emotional impact. And emotional impact can be from expressing feelings. It can be from expressing some experience, you know? So that was the third one. The fourth one is, I wish I wouldn't have worked so hard. So I think this one applies to like working, let's say like in corporate world, where for the most part, you are essentially working for maybe like a promotion, to like, let's say you start as like an employee and then you want to go to like a manager and you have to work quite hard in order to get there, right? This is one of the reasons why we had to give this business everything we have, because if a lot of people regret working so hard in their career, in their jobs, and this can actually free us from that, that is actually insane. Like, we are part of something that a lot of people need. A lot of people are searching for this, you know? So too much of these people's time is spent making a living over building a life, you know? And we have the opportunity to build a life for ourselves. We have the opportunity to build whatever we want. We have the opportunity to create whatever we want. And we have the resources and access to know how to bring it into our lives. We are blessed with this platform, and we can actually do this for ourselves, right? We can escape making a living, and we can actually start creating our lives. And we're all pretty young on this school as well. So yeah, bear that in mind too. You know, we are, yeah. So work hard on building yourself and your dream, not someone else's dream. Yeah, in regards to this business, you know when you're not working hard enough, when you spend more time working on your job than you do on your future. Now, this doesn't apply to the people who, you know, are in this business who actually, you know, just want a couple of extra £100 to help them out every month, right? This is for the people who actually want to, you know, create a life for ourselves and maybe end up leaving our jobs one day, you know. So that's something to think about as well. So I'll just repeat it. So in this business, if you do want to take it to the next level and you do decide to go all in, bear this in mind. You're not working hard enough on this business if you spend more time working your job than you do on your future. And you clearly don't want it as bad as you say you do. That's fine. But yeah, that doesn't apply to, you know, the people who are just doing this on the side. Don't want to offend anyone. But yeah, number 5 is, I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself not the life others expected of me. So let's put 7 in the chat if you, at any point in your life, maybe through school or through uni or through a certain period of your life, have felt the need to live up to other people's expectations of yourself. Okay. So, yeah, so one of the last regrets is, people wishing to have the courage to live a life true to themselves, not to other people's expectations. So when you were living up to the other people's expectations, did you feel good? Just put in the chat, did it feel good, or did you feel like pressured or unhappy or unfulfilled? Okay, yeah. So that is why we had to be true to ourselves, because as tough as those times were, being true to yourself is ultimately what's going to cause you to feel fulfilled. If you're working towards someone else's expectations of you, you don't even know what they are. Like, let's be real. Like, that person can line out the expectations that they want you to reach, but in their head, they could be thinking all sorts, and you have no way of knowing what they're actually thinking about the efforts that you're putting in. So that's why it's always important to work for your own expectations. Set a standard for yourself, guys. Set that standard and then make a promise to yourself never to break that standard. Whether it's doing a certain number of calls per day, whether it's working on the chats for a certain amount of time, whether it's talking to friends or family for a certain amount of time per day, set that expectation for yourself and set it high, and take the initiative to have the self-discipline to correct yourself back on course if it does go wrong. Most people have not had the chance to honor their dreams, and they have died knowing it was due to the choices that they've made. So, I'm just thinking. Oh yeah. So there's actually a thing that I learned, and a few other people on this call might have learned it too. So I'll just see who actually knows it. So where is the richest place in the world? Let's see if anyone else has this quote. I'll go like 10 more seconds, see if anyone knows it. Yes, there we go. Tate said it for everyone. The richest place in the world is actually the graveyard, because people have not had the courage to take on pursuing their dreams. They've got knocked on the way and they decided to quit. They haven't had the opportunity to pursue their dreams, and they haven't had the resilience to continue through all of the falls. Breakthrough moment. So yeah, another thing to bear in mind with regards to this business, right? When you join, there's going to be a lot of people who say it's not going to work. There's going to be a lot of people who say it's going to be a waste of time. But have they tried it? What are they doing right now? If, let's say, actually put a one in chat if anyone's ever said that to you, or if they told you to go back and get a job, that's not going to work. All these things. When they're doing that, they are basically putting their limiting beliefs and their lack of, belief in themselves, they're putting that onto you, because within themselves, they don't think it's possible to do it themselves. So the next thing they can do is hand it off to you and hope that you take the bait. But we're not going to take the bait, are we? Because we know where we're going. We believe we're going to get there, and it's already done. So think of it this way, right? If you would have lived the life everyone else wanted you to live, where would you be right now? Where would you be right now if it wasn't for Aya? Would you be doing the same thing? Would you have been doing the same thing that you've been doing for like however many years now? Would you still be, maybe working in your job if you have quit already? Would you still be unhappy? That's another thing. Would you still be undeveloped in the way of your mindset? Like, would your mindset still be in the same place as 97% of the world, where you consume negativity and feed off it all the time? Or, like, where would you be without however long you've been with this company? That's where you would be if you lived up to the expectations of other people. So because you've lived up to your own expectations so far, that's what's got you where you want to. That's what's got you to where you are today. So never live the life that other people want you to live. Otherwise, you'll always have that regret, and you'll go to the graveyard and just be another person, adding to the wealth of the grave. So that is essentially all of the regrets. I'll just go through them again. So number 1 is, I wish I had let myself be happier. Number 2 is, I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. Number 3, I wish I had the courage to express my feelings. Number 4, I wish I wouldn't have worked so hard. And number 5, I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself and not the life others expected of me. So, there we go. Remember, guys, don't get caught up in procrastination either, because most of us, when you think about it, how many times have you said, oh, I should have done that? How many times have you said, I could have done that? And how many times have you said, I would have done this differently, if only, So, exactly, too many times, right? Too many times. So let's end procrastination today. Let's end any regrets that we would have today. And let's all, be happier, stay in touch with friends, even if you do have to, separate to elevate for a little bit. Have the courage to express yourselves, go all out in this business, get what you want, create the life you want to live, and live to your own standards, because it's all right. All right, so that is the end, guys. I hope everyone enjoyed this. If you want to tag me on Instagram, it's at ImogenC0. Tag Claudia as well if you want to post. But yeah, that's the end of the call, guys. See you next week with me and Claudia, and we are going to drop some more value for you guys next week.